Hello and welcome to yet another Tuesdays at 2, where I, Martin Buckland, I share my knowledge, my vast knowledge on executive career management. Each week, a different topic, Tuesdays at 2 Eastern Time. So join me every week where you will learn a lot about career management. This is episode number 85, and today's topic is really in my bailiwick. I am contemplating an EMBA. Your thoughts? I am contemplating an Executive Master of Business Administration. Your thoughts? I've been working deeply in the Executive Master of Business Administration degree, helping clients 2,500 and plus reach their career goals as candidates and graduates since 2007, and have been speaking across the world to business schools and at conferences on the benefits of an EMBA and how they, the graduates or the candidates, can advance their career. And believe you me, they can pretty fast. So today's topic, I am contemplating an EMBA. Your thoughts? It's like anything. Don't jump into it. Take your time. This is a huge time investment, a huge family investment, and a huge financial investment. So don't waste any time. Think about it. Do a lot of research. Jump in. It's a huge decision. You need to consult with your family. You need to consult with other people, your colleagues, your work, because as you embark on an EMBA, that is going to involve you taking less time at work and traveling to modules, maybe across the world. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But in my view, an EMBA is a very, very highly regarded degree across the world. And I am actually seeing that now in my candidates positioning themselves as they graduate, after they graduate, with multiple offers. And they are being able to shift their expertise into another area. You can't shift 360, but you can shift slightly to the left or slightly to the right. So it is a very, very highly regarded degree. But when you're doing your due diligence and you need to do voluminous amount of due diligence, here are some tips that you need to embrace. Each year, different organizations release EMBA, Executive Master of Business Administration rankings. So I would suggest that you evaluate those rankings, not just for this year, but for the previous 2 or 3 years. So there are various, there are the two main ones I would suggest are the Financial Times, which comes out in about November, I think the first Monday or second Monday in November, and the QS, which is also very highly regarded, and that's about to be released, I think, very, very soon in the next few weeks. So 2 rankings that you need to evaluate to help you as just a component of your decision if you're considering an EMBA. So Financial Times and qs.com, and they are very comprehensive rankings. They go into it in great detail. They evaluate their program, and it's very competitive for the actual business schools to reach that top 10. And when they do reach that top 10, they want to salute it and they broadcast that they are in the top 10 or the top 5 or whatever. So Financial Times and QS rankings are part of your due diligence. So you need to discuss with your family, because it's a huge time commitment. Don't just make a decision right now. Go and evaluate it. There are others in the master's section, the graduate section, that you should also contemplate. If you want to stay in a particular function, you don't want to go for more general management or learn new skills outside your regular function, you could do other programs. Like if you're in finance, there's a Master of Finance, there's Master of Science. One that's very, very hot right now is a Master of Management and Analytics. That's where you get to know machine learning and AI and whatever. But the EMBA has a little component on all those. An EMBA is an overall leadership management degree, highly regarded in corporate world, NGOs, government, and any other organization. Highly recognized. So one thing you need to think about when you're doing your due diligence, as I say, don't just jump into it, is the budget. What budget do you have that you can put towards your academic qualifications, your academic designations? Now you can get an EMBA at the 30 to 40,000. I'm going to play in US dollars, but you can also get an EMBA that goes over 200,000. So therefore, your budget is going to be a criteria when you start narrowing down your choice. So an executive master of business administration does cost a lot of money. Like anything, the more money you put into it, the more rewards you will get coming your way. Then you need to look at the university. What university? Does that university have a great recognition? Got to remember that later on when you graduate, what's that university going to look like on your LinkedIn profile and your resume, your CV? Does it have some cachet? Will people recognize it? Oh, you went to this school or you went to that school. You need to look at the university. You need to look at the budget, but you also need to look at the geography. Now, each country has their own, or Western world countries have their own universities that most of them do an executive master of business administration, but there are also global programs. So they are going modules, a little bit, one module here, one module there, another module all on the other side of the world. So, and then of course you learn a lot when you travel around the world as well. And going in, they immerse you in that country's culture and with their corporations that are based in that country. So that's a great due diligence component you need to look at. Are you going to get sponsorship from your employer? Now, there was a day, we go back many, many years, where most executive master of business administration got some shape or form of sponsorship. But sadly today, most corporations, they are not willing to fund your EMBA. They may give you a chunk of your EMBA, a third or quarter or an eighth or whatever, but very, very rarely do they give you 100%. If they do, then they will have certain criteria that they demand that you stay in that position or stay with that company for 3 to 5 years after you graduate. And I would suggest as a career coach, you don't want to be pigeonholed in that scenario, but that's up to you. So budget, which university, the geography, and the sponsorship. So now you're starting to narrow it down. Do a lot of due diligence. Go to Financial Times, go to QS, go to lots of other places to look at their program. You need to select probably 6 or 7 or 8 programs. And here's a way you can advance your due diligence. I would suggest that you interview the alumni of that program, because they've been through that program and they will tell you open and honestly about that program, whether it's good. And all programs are good. They have their good aspects and they have their bad aspects. So you need to immerse yourself with the alumni of the programs that you have found that's going to be in your shortlist. Don't go to 100. narrow it down to about 6 to 8, maximum of 10, and do your extensive due diligence with the alumni. They will be willing to talk about the benefits that they've reaped from that program in your due diligence. Then, do you fit into the admissions? Each university slightly varies on the admissions criteria. Now, you can also have a word for free. They're more than willing to have a conversation with you, deep conversation, give you 20, 30 minutes of their time probably to go through what the admissions is. And you're actually speaking with people who belong to that program, who are employed with that program. Obviously, they are slanted towards selling that program, but be open and be honest and ask some probing questions. It's an interview, it's another meeting of the minds. There is a lot at stake, because if you enter a program and it's not for you or you don't like it, then there's a lot of money and a lot of time wasted. And the university also don't appreciate that. So it's like it's matchmaking. You have to be into most of the criteria for an executive master of business administration, an EMBA, is that you have to be in a management position already. You can't do it just out of a undergrad. You have to be 10, maybe 12 or even 15 years in the corporate world and show your ambition, show your leadership, show that you are in a management position, and also that you've got the money available. So the part of the criteria is showing that you have a management position. They will ask for your resume. They will look at your LinkedIn profile, make sure that's fully complete. And they will also, maybe some universities, ask your spouse to see whether they agree that you are entering in that program, because those spouses, partners, and friends and family give up so much time, because it's a very, very time consuming program. So anybody got any comments, please put them in the comment section. More than happy to answer them as I go through this. It doesn't have to be related to the EMBA. So do you fit what that admissions criteria is for that particular business school? Then, are you able to schedule the modules? Now, each EMBA program has a different time frame. So some are over weekends, some are every other weekend, some are every fourth weekend, some are every quarter, and then some are all over the world: London, Paris, New York, Silicon Valley, China. That's one program I work with, Triumph, and they travel all over the world. Therefore, it's another added expense, all that traveling. So you need to add that to the overall cost, the overall investment you are making in that program. And your employer, as I said a few minutes ago, has to embrace this, because when you are traveling to those modules, it's going to cut back on the time that you are giving them, your employer. So you have to have a conversation with your manager or your boss's boss, somebody who will be who manages you, who leads you. Sorry, yeah, Susanna. Yeah, I mean, it's a great program, but yeah, you might be able to get a scholarship. I don't know, but there are scholarships available. You would be probably an ideal candidate, but yeah, there are very few scholarships available. So the time of the program. Now, not only does it vary the modules and whether you're working every second weekend or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, every fourth weekend, or once a quarter, or whatever. And each program varies. So there are totally different. The time of the program, the length of the program can vary. Some of them are 14 months or thereabouts. Some of them go up to 2 years. So you really are giving your soul to this program. You have to think of it. You are going to shut yourself away for 14 months, 16 months, 18 months, or close to 2 years. So it's dedication. Have you got that dedication? Have you got that persistence? It's a very, very tough program. Now, some of the universities they've molded themselves into certain concentrations. They're not all general management, where you learn a little bit of supply chain, finance, marketing, sales, digital transformation. Some are very, very specific. There are a couple of programs I work with in digital transformation. That's their aim, is to get you become an expert in digital transformation or supply chain management or finance. So they also have their concentrations. That's what you need to find in your due diligence. So it can take a long time before you make that decision. So yes, in summary, yes, an EMBA can and will help you achieve your career goals. I can tell you that. But you enter the program full of ambition, and then you blood, sweat, and tears that go into that program. Sometimes it takes a little while to get your energy back. I would suggest after you graduate, you take 4, 5, 6 months to recuperate, recharge, and then bounce into a job search. Corporate world love an executive master of business administration. The ROI can be terrific. I've had some of my clients, and as I say, I've worked with over 2,500 EMBAs over my time. Some of my clients who've gone through those 200K 200,000 plus programs have got the ROI back on that, the monetary ROI back in 31 months. So the benefits of the program are that it's great networking, especially when you go to the global ones. You probably got peers, students in the program, sometimes from 20 different countries. Each one comes from a different culture. Each one comes from a different profession, discipline, and whatever. So it's a great learning exercise, not just what you're going to learn from the professors, but you learn from your peers in the program. I've had some great conversations when I visit programs and I listen to the professors talking and then our networking afterwards. It's amazing some of the networking that goes on. You also get access to the alumni at that particular university where you went, and some of the global programs, you get access to 2 or 3 or even 4 alumni. Now that's a huge network that can help you with your career management. It's great learning. You will come out of it vastly improved as far as knowledge of general management, leadership, and it may be one of those particular disciplines. It opens tons of new doors. There are new opportunities waiting for a graduate of an EMBA program. So in essence, I would think I know that an executive master of business administration is well worth the time investment, is well worth the financial investment. But you need to do your due diligence. As I say, the more due diligence you do, the better it's going to be. It's just like you researching your next employer when you're trying to find those hidden jobs. You're now trying to find the best executive master of business administration program that fits you. Anybody got any other comments? I'm more than happy to answer them. Don't have to be on relating to an executive master of business administration. If anybody's watching this who is actually an EMBA, when you network, you need to. An EMBA is a different degree to an MBA. You need to emphasize the word executive. So in all your networking opportunities, you need to have the word executive master of business administration. Emphasize that word executive, because people around the world, decision makers, will recognize it's a different program to a master of business administration and an MBA. Anybody got any other questions? Otherwise, I will wrap it up. I'm more than happy to provide anybody watching today during the live and also the rebroadcast a free, no obligation resume critique or a LinkedIn audit for free. I will go through your resume for 30 minutes and your LinkedIn, and we will together go through. I will give you my honest and frank opinion. I do say it as it is. And for any other information, like a wealth of information, please go to my YouTube channel and press the subscribe button and the bell button, where you will be notified of many new videos that I'm shooting in the next few weeks. So I will wrap it up. Thanks for listening. Those of you who want to advance the conversation on what you're thinking about an Executive Master of Business Administration, an EMBA, I'm more than happy to have a private conversation, because I've heard from graduates, over 2,500 graduates, the good, the bad, and the ugly about the program. And it's a great program. In my view, as a career coach, as an executive coach, I think it's a valuable degree, but you need to make that investment, that time investment, and your and the monetary investment. So one more thing, Fridays I'll be coming back with my career tips for a crazy world. What is that? That's a 1-minute career tip. Friday 2 p.m. Eastern and Monday 9 a.m. Eastern, where I have a 1-minute tip on career management. Otherwise, I will see you back here next week on Tuesdays at 2. And the topic is going to be halfway through 2022, what functions are hiring hot? Halfway through 2022, what functions are hiring hot? Now, that's quite interesting. Where we are in the world right now, hiring is very, very hot. But there's lots of rumors, there's big clouds in the sky forecasting that we're going to go into an economic slump. So by next week, that might change, but I do know which professions, which functions are hiring hot. So join me next week, and I will tell you the hot functions, and I will tell you the ones that are somewhat cool. So have a great week. Never miss out on a networking opportunity. See if you can network with somebody new each day this week. That is 7 new people in your network. Have a great week, and I will see you next Tuesday at 2 or Friday for my career tips for a crazy world. 2 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. next Monday Eastern.